got Alex Funderburke to talk to me again. He's been avoiding me. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing great, Kennedy, and I'm not avoiding you. Just don't invite me on anymore.
Okay. Yeah. So we obviously have a lot to talk about. NBA All-Star Weekend was last weekend, and to be honest with you, I'm not too impressed with the All-Star game. Like, what were your thoughts watching the game? Everyone was like, this was the All-Star game? Like, I waited for this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I woke up, what was it, Saturday? Yeah, I woke up Saturday morning or Sunday morning, whenever it was, and I didn't realize it was on. Like I went on Twitter and Twitter told me, "Oh, today's the All-Star game." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a thing still." Like it was weird. I watched every minute of it, but it wasn't entertaining at all. I was only watching it because nothing better was on TV. Um, it was boring. That's an event where you need fans, and like when Dame and Steph were taking half court shots back and forth. If there was a crowd there, the crowd would be going insane and it'd be a lot more fun. But with no crowd there, it was boring.
Absolutely. And I mean, to be honest with you, Dame and Steph really carried this game because aside from the threes, it was kind of a mess of a game. I mean, we saw more turnovers than we do in a regular season game. So to me, it was like, is this really what we're watching right now?
Yeah, I mean it was sloppy. It was boring. It was just not a good All Star event. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. I don't think. I think Adam Silver needed money and had a money grab and put on the game, but it was just not a good product.
Now let's talk about the rosters. So of course we had Team LeBron versus Team Durant, and Curry and LeBron get to play together for the first time since they're in the same coast. What did you just see out of LeBron's team, just the roster makeup, and what kind of impressed you about them?
I don't know what Kevin Durant did, but that man cannot draft a team. Like Team LeBron was so much better. Like he had Giannis, he had Luca, he had Steph. Like everybody who's anybody in the NBA was on Team LeBron. I don't know why Kevin Durant drafted the team he did, but I was not shocked at all that Team LeBron won all four quarters.
Definitely. And I mean, going over to Team Durant, I had some surprising names that I thought were on there. Zion Williamson in his first All-Star game. I was like, okay, whose thought process was that?
Yeah, no, there was that, and I think Julius Randle, who I love because I'm a Knicks fan, he was on Team Durant. So I wanted Team Durant to win just because Julius was there, but like you're not going to win a game with Zion Williamson starting. And albeit Zion was not supposed to start, it was supposed to be Ben Simmons, but he had to go into quarantine because of close contact. But yeah, you're not going to win a game, an All-Star game with Zion Williamson starting.
Now, one of the performances that impressed me the most was Bradley Beal. We haven't seen Bradley Beal in an All-Star game for a little bit. And of course, now, no John Wall in Washington. Thank you, God. So just what did you see out of Bradley Beal, and did he really deserve an All-Star spot this year, especially how he's played this season?
He definitely deserved the spot. He's easily second or third in like most underrated NBA players. I think Dame is underrated. I think Devin Booker is underrated, and I think Bradley Beal is right there in that discussion. I think people don't realize how great they are. So to see Bradley Beal be in the game and play as well as he did, it was really cool.
Now, moving back to Team LeBron, there was some people that kind of surprised us as well. Chris Paul had 16 assists. And I mean, Chris Paul is one of those players. I think Chris Paul is paying to be in the NBA at this point. I don't I don't even know if anyone picked him. He probably picked himself. But I think just seeing how he plays, what did you see out of the guard aspect of Team LeBron?
I mean, Chris Paul is Chris Paul. You know what you're getting. He's a facilitator. Should he have been in the All Star game? Absolutely not. Uh, if you're going to pick anyone from the Suns, it should have been Devin Booker. And Devin Booker ended up being in the game because of an injury to Anthony Davis. But without that injury, Devin Booker wasn't going to be in the game. I think that's ridiculous. But I mean, Chris Paul's a legend and he's an all time great. So I get why he's there. But no, like 16 assists is impressive by anybody. But Chris Paul, you should not have been their dog.
And then Steph Curry, who should have been there, of course. Of course, Steph Curry's had a rough past 2 years. You know, you get injured, and then, of course, you're coming out for pretty much your first season in a while. I still don't know how a thumb can get you out for that long, but, you know, I'm not going to speak on that one. But just what can you say about Steph Curry? Of course, he wins the 3-point contest with it's a given, but just seeing how many just shots he had, how he's pulling up from threes, pulling from backcourt, basically. Just what did you see out of Steph Curry?
Steph Curry was the only interesting thing that happened on Sunday night. Like, he reminded the world he is the greatest shooter of all time, and it's not close. Like, that man could pull up from Orlando and hit a shot in California. Like, he's absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like Steph Curry. I mean, I'd pay to just watch him shoot. Like, you don't have to play a game. Like, I'd get a ticket to watch him just shoot around. Like, he's that entertaining. Like, he just pulls up from anywhere and drains it with ease.
Okay, how much money would you actually pay to see Steph Curry shoot?
Don't put me on the spot like this. I don't know. I go like 20, $25 to see Steph Curry shoot around.
Okay, I don't know who's accepting $25 for that, but if the time comes, if the time comes.
For sure.
Now we definitely have to talk about this dunk contest or lack thereof. Anthony Simons wins the dunk contest, which I don't.
They robbed my boy Obi.
Yeah, I'm Obi as well. I was like the participants in the contest were pretty random to say the least. Cassius Stanley, of course, Obi and Anthony Simons. So it's like, okay, I don't know who picked these either. But what did you see out of the dunk contest for you? Wow.
Obi should have won. And am I saying this as a biased Knicks fan? Yes. But Anthony Simons won the dunk contest because he almost did a cool dunk. He almost kissed the rim. He didn't kiss the rim. He got close. If he kissed the rim, cool, he can win. But he missed the dunk. He missed kissing the rim by like 6 inches. Why did he win? No, it was random. I was excited to see Obi because, like, in college, Obi was known for putting on these like highlight dunks in games. So it was cool to see him do it. But like, a casual NBA fan is not going to know who any of those people are. Definitely. Like, there was no intrigue to that. If you got like John Morant to do it, or even Zion to do it, now you have something cooking. But Simons, Obi, and who was it? Cassius Stanley? Yeah, Cassius Stanley. That's not gonna make anyone excited.
I mean, I was watching and I watched the highlights again. And I was like, even the commentators are trying to get into it, and it's just like, he kissed the rim, but he didn't even kiss the rim. So I don't know who picked Anthony Simons to win. I feel like they probably had Dame in the back, and we're just like, you know what? You could pick whoever you want to win, and you picked Anthony.
Knicks Twitter was very upset. It was quite funny after during the dunk contest. Knicks Twitter is the greatest thing on earth.
I've never been on it because I've never met an actual Knicks fan, so I'm gonna take your word for it. It's you. You're the actual Knicks fan. Now, thinking about dunk contests, of course, Aaron Gordon said he's pretty much not doing it again after last year and his little Dwayne Wade debacle. But what was your favorite dunk contest growing up? What dunk can you really remember that's just in your head?
So the first like dunk contest I really remember was Nate Robinson dunking over Dwight Howard. That was like the first one. That's what got me into the dunk contest. But I think the best one was the one in Toronto where Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine were just doing insane things back and forth. I think Zach LaVine, this is going to be a hot take, he should have won. I know everyone loves to say Aaron Gordon should have won because he jumped over the mascot, but sorry, the right person won. Doing a windmill dunk from the free throw line, yeah, that's going to win every single time. That's definitely the best one. But I think the first one I remember was definitely Nate Robinson. He was in the green Knicks uniform. He was in the St. Patrick's Day uniform, dunking over Dwight Howard. That was by far the coolest one.
Definitely. I mean, we missed Dwight Howard as well. His whole Superman spiel before he was now. But definitely, I think for me, I'm always reminded of Blake Griffin jumping over the Kia. That is like in my head at all times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's definitely up there.
I mean, just watching the contest, it's just the entire All-Star game as a whole, like, as long as there's COVID, do you think that events like this are going to continue to be fun, or are they just going to be lackluster because we don't have fans and we don't have anything really exciting about them?
They're going to continue to be lackluster. And I think the other sports are being smart about it. They're not doing them. Like, MLB didn't have an All-Star game, didn't have the home run derby. If you have fans there, the home run derby is awesome, but if you don't have fans there, it's not exciting. Um, Hockey, they're not doing an All-Star game. The NFL, they didn't do the Pro Bowl. They had players play Madden. Like the NBA is the only one to do this, and normally the NBA is the smartest ones with this. They don't do dumb things like this, but for some reason, Adam Silver dropped the ball.
I definitely agree. Now, one person that I don't think dropped the ball that I think needs to be talked about a lot more is the Joker, Nikola Jokic. I feel like he's just not getting the respect that he deserves just as a player. I mean, regular season and All-Star game, he's just done so much. So I just wanted to ask your thoughts on Nikola. Is he underrated kind of? Is he kind of one of those players that people just kind of sweep under a rug and they're like, okay, he's good? Or is he just like, oh, he's performing well for what he has?
Nah, he's definitely top 2 at worst in the MVP right now. I mean, but people don't talk about him because the Denver Nuggets aren't that team that like get you hyped. They're not that big market team. They're not the Lakers. They're not like more people pay attention to the Knicks and we're not good. Like
You had to,
um
yeah.
yeah, like we're in the playoffs right now, but like compared to the Nuggets, if we played the Nuggets right now, the Nuggets would beat us by 70. Like the Nuggets are a far better team, but no one cares about them because they're in Denver. Sorry, Okalo. I know you're a Nuggets fan, but like no one cares about your team, bro. But no, Jokic definitely needs more attention. Jamal Murray needs more attention. That Nuggets team is hooping right now, and they're going to be exciting for years to come.
I definitely hope Jokic gets the credit he deserves because he's just such a phenomenal player for the development of the NBA. Now, one player that's getting a lot of attention for the wrong reasons is Meyers Leonard. Of course, we can't say the word that he said. We're not even going to say any of the words leading up to the word that he said on here. But
For
just
sure.
the Myers Leonard situation, I mean, of course, we know that there's stipulations and that you have to have consequences for what you say. But how much of this should we put on him, or how much of this reflects the NBA?
I don't think this is an NBA problem per se, but Myers Leonard, dude, what are you doing? Like, and his apology was somehow worse than what he actually said. Like he said, "Oh, I didn't know what it meant." Bro, you said that so easily. You had to know what that meant. You're also like 30. Like, and that's not a slur that people just like casually use. That's a word I've maybe heard once. Like, what are you doing? And then what kind of made me mad was the suspension. Normally with a suspension, you lose your pay for those games that you miss. But because he's injured and out for the season, he doesn't sacrifice any of his pay. So it's just the fine and it's just the week suspension, which I think is kind of weak. I think it should have been more. Um, but I can't say I'm surprised because this is the same player who made it a huge deal that he was still standing for the national anthem. And like standing from the national anthem does not make you a racist, but like making it such a big deal, like this is why I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm not surprised that you're on uh, Twitch just shouting slurs.
And that I'm glad you brought that up because he obviously did make it a big deal that, I'm standing for the anthem for this reason. And, I support my teammates, but kind of making it about him. So when I kind of saw it, I was like, I'm not surprised that it was Myers Leonard, like at
Yeah.
all. But at the same time, it's like when you've played around people of different colors, of course, different races as the NBA continues to open up, should you be held to a higher standard because you represent this organization, you represent
Yep.
teams. So do we put him in the category where, you need to be responsible for your own actions? Should there be a bigger consequence for him?
There 100% should be. I mean, the Heat owner is Jewish. He's was born in Israel. Like that's why I really thought the Heat would do a better job at handling this, but they kind of dropped the ball here. I mean, a week away from team events, like that's nothing. And I think a $50,000 fine, which is pocket change for an NBA player, this it should be a whole lot more than it was.
And for guys like this that do step out and say things that are absolutely uncalled for, what should be the consequence for these guys? Because, like you said, $50,000 is like, I mean, you're making millions, and then say, okay, you said a Jewish slur that I personally have never even heard anybody use. And then you come out and say that. Should it be a termination of a contract? Should it be a bigger suspension? Should they make bigger examples out of situations like this?
I think it depends, but I think in the Myers Leonard situation, like dock his pay for like 2 weeks. Like he's hurt. He's not gonna play. So like you're not really suspending him. Um, or like make it so when he is healthy, he's suspended for a week. Like do something like that. Um, because I don't think he meant harm when he said it, but the fact that he said it is still a big problem. Um, I like what Julian Edelman did, the Patriots wide receiver. He reached out to him and said, "Hey, like talk to me, let me educate you on like why this is a problem and you shouldn't be saying this." Um, but like diversity training maybe should be part of this, like something, so it doesn't keep happening. Because the more, like, it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Because social media is going to blow this thing up every single time, as it should be. Like people should know what kind of person Myers Leonard is, and yeah, something's got to change. Because like that, the penalty the Heat gave him was not enough.
And then, I mean, even in situations like this, I mean, we could still look at the positive outlook because, like you said, we have an NFL player stepping outside, going on social media and saying, hey, let me help you. You know, even if you did say this because you didn't know, I mean, I highly doubt he didn't know, but I'm not going to speak for him. We're going to keep it pushing on that. But I mean, it still, to me, shows that we're still moving in the right direction, you know? So when you see players like that, what does it make you feel as far as our progress, as far as diversity goes?
I definitely feel like we're going in the right direction, because I feel like in the past, people would have been like, "Oh, like that's not even that bad." Like people say worse, but like a majority of people were like, "Yo, like that's uncalled for. Like something's got to happen here." Which made me happy to see, because like 2, 3, even like yeah, 2, 2, 3 years ago, like people would have been like, "Ah, that's not that bad. Like give him a break. He made a mistake." But no, like people came out against this and were like, "Yo, that's messed up. We can't have this." Um, and the fact that other players from other sports are reaching out, I think is good.
Well, hopefully Myers Leonard has actually learned from his situation, and I hope other people learn from it as well. I hope Adam Silver is watching so we can cancel All-Star game next year if there's a COVID still.
Please, Adam. Please, Adam. That
We
was dumb.
okay. But thank you so much, Alex, for talking to me. It's always a pleasure. You've been avoiding me, but I'm not going to go there.
Hey, if you invite me on, I'll be on
Glad to hear that. And we'll probably see you another week.
for sure.